Pop, pop, pop. What was that? Sharp prickles of fear raced through Helen Smit's fingertips. She gripped the handlebars, her feet jostling on the pedals, forcing the bicycle to a screeching stop. Dirt spit up from the front wheel, splattering her white cotton bobby socks and bare calves. Boom! Her head jerked to the left and the right as she steadied the bicycle with her feet on the ground. Fields of waving emerald grass wanted to calm her anxious heart, but she'd have none of it. Instead, she sucked in a sharp breath, murmured a prayer, and forced her feet back onto the pedals, pushing the bike as fast as she could. Boom! What is that noise? Her mind cried again. Her hands shook the handlebars. The bicycle wobbled, and the front wheel caught on some rocks. Suddenly, a scream rose from her throat, and she stared at the ground. For an instant, her arms and legs froze, even as she spit out grainy sands of dirt. When she finally did move, she felt a pain in her leg. I've fallen, her mind finally realized. Wat het? A gentle voice asking if she was okay floated over her head, along with a tapping on her shoulder. Slowly, she rolled onto her back, squinting at the piercing rays of sunshine. Then a dark form blocked the rays, and a strong hand reached down to help her up. Once on her feet, she tugged down her soiled dress and smoothed back strands of blonde hair from her face. I'm all right. I must have hit a patch of rocks after I heard something, a boom coming from somewhere, and a popping sound. Maybe you heard noise from the windmills or boats on the Markermeer. The explanation eased Helen's mind as she gazed at her benefactor. She then analyzed her current predicament, a fine stream of blood trickling from a small cut on her leg, dirt smudged on her dress and socks, and, to her dismay, the handlebars of her bike bent at a 30-degree angle. The man now stepped into full view, lean and tall, wearing a dark cap over a head of sandy-colored hair. He gave her a handkerchief to dab the blood from her leg, and then righted the bicycle to study the misshapen handlebars. I think I can fix this, he declared. Can you? She thanked him. Dank je wel. Helen watched his every move as he returned to his bicycle. Only then did she notice the cart he pulled and the small boy sitting inside. The boy clambered out, holding a toy boat in his hands. What's the matter, Erik? He asked in a high-pitched voice. The lady fell, Erik answered. He took a small bag from the cart and found a wrench. Helen smiled in the boy's direction, but her attention remained riveted on this man with the tool he twirled in one hand, returning to fix her mangled bike. You certainly are well prepared. I have to be whenever I take Hans anywhere. Remember when we had trouble with my bicycle, Hans? Hans immediately launched into a story of riding along one of the dikes. The chain on the bicycle broke, sending the bike nearly careening off the dike and into the water. Erik tried to maintain control until they had gotten clear of the dike. Mother said we could have drowned, Hans exclaimed, his eyes growing large. Mother tends to exaggerate, Erik corrected, taking hold of Helen's bicycle and locking the front wheel between his knees. He blew out a sharp breath and used the wrench to twist the metal lug nut holding the bars in place. Once he had the bars loosened, he repositioned them and retightened the nut. That should ride well now. Helen stared in awe, before realizing she ought to try out the man's handiwork before he left. She climbed onto the bike and rode it 50 yards down the road and back again. It's perfect. Echt heel erg bedankt. Erik returned the tool to the bag and stowed the bag in the cart. You're welcome. We need to get going. We're heading to a children's boat race in Amsterdam,